Hey guys, happy Thursday. I'm so happy to see you. Today we're going to be going over FSA packet page 3. It is about systems of equations. So that's what we're doing today. So we're going to do this video. I'll do the first 4 questions and then you are going to do the bottom questions on your own, or you could call a friend and do it with a friend. And then after you do the questions, you're going to upload to Flipgrid. Make sure on Flipgrid you have your answer. You show your work, and you also explain what you are doing to get your work. So you could either kind of do bullet points as you go, like we did in notes together before, or you could write yourself a paragraph at the bottom, kind of like we would do with test corrections, or you could explain with your mouth in words as you're doing the work. And if you need an example of how any of these work, you can go back to our first Flipgrid assignment like this. I starred a couple of the best ones who did a good job of explaining, and those should be a good example for you. So I'm really honestly wondering how you guys are doing with the whole social aspect of your life and what you've been doing to keep in touch with your friends and your family and stuff. I know that I have been doing a conference call with my family every Friday night. My mom will call me and she'll have all of my aunts and my uncles and my grandma on the phone at the same time. And so we'll all talk on the phone together for hours. And I've been calling all of my friends on FaceTime, so I've been FaceTiming with somebody pretty much every day. And I was wondering what you guys are doing to keep connected, or if you are keeping connected. So if you want, you can send me a submission to this assignment with just a little comment about what you're doing to stay connected to your friends, because I care and I want to know. Okay, so this first question is a graphing question, and like I said, I don't have a printer, so I'm doing this on regular paper. I happened to have graph paper on me so that I could do it on graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, that's okay. You can just draw yourself a little graph like a coordinate plane, or honestly, I personally think substitution and elimination are better methods anyway. So we're just gonna do this graphing example so I can show you how it looks with a graph, and then you can do the other 2 methods for the rest of your problems. So with graphing, obviously we want to graph our 2 equations. So when we graph, this number that's a constant is our y-intercept. That's where your line is going to cross the y-axis. In this case, it's -4. So I'll start at -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. And my slope is 2. And slope is what is multiplied by x. So if my slope is 2, that's like saying it's 2 over 1. And we're talking about rise over run here. So I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, so on and so forth. And then I'll get a straight edge and I'll connect my dots. Anything with a straight edge will do. I don't have a ruler at home, so I'm using a book. Boom. Now with this second line, it's not very obviously written in a way that I can draw it on here, so I'm going to need to rearrange my equation. So I have 2x plus 3y equals 12. Now I want to get it into y equals mx plus b, so I'll have to rearrange this equation. If I want to get my x to this side, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Now this 12 and this 2x are not like terms, so I'm just going to end up with 3y equals -2x plus 12. Now I want this y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and I end up with y equals -2/3, -2 over 3, x plus 4. And now we have a line that we can graph pretty easily. So my +4, I'm going to count to 1, 2, 3, 4. And my slope is -2 over 3. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. Down 2, right 3. And then I will connect my dots with a straight edge. I happen to have my Algebra Nation book. Boom. And so your solution to the system of equations is the point where they cross. And in this case, that point is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 3, comma, 2. And that is my answer. So now when we're talking about substitution, what we're going to do is substitute in. See how this says y equals this expression? I'm going to plug in this expression into my y. So what I'm going to say is 2x plus 3 times, and I know that my y equals 2x minus 4. 2x minus 4 equals 12. Come back to this top equation. And now I'm going to use my don't call me after midnight rules. I'm going to distribute. So I'll carry this down. 2x plus 6x minus 12 equals 12. I did my distribute, now I combine like terms. So 2x plus 6x is 8x minus 12 equals 12. Now move the variable or get the variable by itself. I want the x by itself, so I'll add 12 to both sides. So I end up with 8x equals 24. Now I want x by itself, so I'll divide by 8. And I end up with x equals 3. But this is not my answer, because like I showed you with the graph, I'm looking for a coordinate. So I'm going to plug in where x equals 3 to find my y value. So y equals 2 times 3, because I remember that 3 is my x value, minus 4. Y equals 6 minus 4. Y equals 2. So now my answer is 3, comma 2. My answer is a coordinate like this. And it doesn't matter which equation you plug your x value into. I just chose the bottom one because it looked easier, but they both get the job done. So now we're going to be talking about elimination when I already have a variable that is opposite like this. So 2x and negative 2x are opposites. So if I were to just add down, they would cancel out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll add 2x minus 2x, cancel out. 3y plus y is 4y. Bring down my equal sign. 12 minus 4 is 8. Now if I want to get this y by itself, I'm going to divide by 4. And I end up with y equals 2. But I'm not done yet because I also need to find my x value. So my x value, I'm just going to plug my y into one of these equations. I'm going to choose the bottom one because then I don't have to do multiplication. So I have negative 2x plus, my y is 2, so I'll plug in a 2, equals negative 4. I want the x by itself, so I'll subtract 2 from both sides. I end up with negative 2x equals negative 6. Now if I want the x by itself, I divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and I end up with x equals 3. So now I'll just take my x value and my y value, turn it into a coordinate. 3, comma, 2. Boom, boom, boom. There's my answer. But elimination isn't always this easy. I'm going to show you one more problem with elimination. So in this situation, I need either the x's or the y's to be able to cancel out. So I'll tell you, it doesn't matter which one you end up canceling out first. I'm going to choose to cancel out my x's because I think multiplying by 2 is easier than multiplying by 6. So what I'm going to do, I want this problem, I want my x to be a negative 4 so that it cancels out with this positive 4. So in order to make this x a negative 4x, I'm going to multiply by negative 2. But what I do to one part of the equation, I have to do to the other part of the equation, so I'm going to multiply this whole thing times negative 2. So I'll distribute in this negative 2. Negative 2 times positive 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times negative y becomes positive 2y. And negative 2 times 4 becomes negative 8. And now I'm just going to carry this down so I can add. So I'll add 4x here. Carry down my plus 6y, sorry. Add 6y here. And I'll carry down my plus 24. So my x's cancel out. Boom. I'll add my y's together. I have 8y equals negative 8 plus 24 is 16. Now if I want this y by itself, I'm going to divide by 8. And I end up with y equals 2. But we're not done yet. We need to find our x value. I'm going to plug my y equals 2 back into this equation. So 2x minus y is 2 equals 4. I want x by itself, so I'll add 2 to both sides. I end up with 2x equals 6. I want x by itself, so I'll divide by 2, divide by 2, and I have x equals 3. But I'm not done yet. I need to write it as a coordinate, so 3, comma, 2. And that's all, folks. I also want to remind you that tomorrow is the last day. It is the deadline to make up any assignments that you're missing from weeks 1 and 2. So please go into PowerSchool, see what assignments you are missing. I recommend that you focus on the mastery assignments and not so much on the practice assignments, but see what you're missing. Go back into Edmodo and find those assignments in Edmodo and get those assignments done so that you can get credit. I will not be going back and grading late work after the deadline on Friday, just so you know, so please get that done. It is all due on Friday.